Okay, welcome. This is Maintaining Velocity. I'm Katie Shasky, also known as Sui Generis Regenerate. You can find me on pretty much every channel, every platform as Sui Generis Regenerate, except for Facebook, where I am under my own name, Katie Shasky. And today I'm having a very special collaboration episode. I'm so excited to finally be doing collabs, but I've been wanting to do this for a while. I wanted to talk to Chris Ohm of Heretical Oracles.
Hi
Um,
there.
What's up? Glad to
Thanks
have
for
you.
having me
I've
on.
known of Chris since at least 10 years, maybe 11, when I first caught his Heretical Oracles blog, and I fell in love with his work way long time ago. And there's just so like every time I've ever talked to Chris, he makes me feel really dumb. And I love that in a conversation because I'm a mercurial number one. Number two, you get bored after studying things for 20 some years, and it's really refreshing to come up against somebody whose intellect is much larger than yours, and you're, or at least more diverse. Either
Yeah, I
one
wouldn't say
is
more
it.
than that,
Well,
but
who knows? Honestly, that's
exactly.
just the vibe, anyways. Not to whatever speak down about myself. That's not the point. But the point
Exactly.
is I love feeling intimidated by somebody's brain. That's exciting for me. So, Chris, please introduce yourself and let people know where you can be found and anything about yourself that you feel like sharing or any projects you might be working on.
Of course. Hi. Thanks for bringing me on.
My pleasure.
As you said, I am Chris Ohm. I am of Heretical Oracles, formerly of Dark Workers, formerly of Spirit Science, formerly everywhere, um, including a brief stint as Shameless Astro. Um, I've been around the block, like she said. Um, you can find me under a Facebook page of Heretical Oracles. My work still survives on Tumblr, of all places, under Heretical Oracles. That's where it still remains. I don't currently have any projects aside from reviving Heretical Oracles. You can have this as a scoop. I'm bringing it back. It's
I
just
love that.
going to take a minute.
Hey, baby steps. Those are the most
Exactly.
important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been around the block since 2008. I've been practicing astrology, and it's been a heck of a ride to see how the landscape has changed since then.
It
The
really
the,
has.
tic, the TikTokification of all of it, back from when everyone used to be in their little isolated communities and they were building their own followers, and everyone was loyal to a specific astrologer, and now everyone, the democratization of it has become so insane.
It has.
It's
And
crazy to see.
like the
The
truth, because people are closing practices that were never closed in the first place. And it's just
mhm.
like the whole landscape of what you can and cannot talk about has changed a lot.
Yeah, and the literacy of astrology of the normal person has risen so much. Like now, people know at least their big three, if nothing else,
Mm, it is
and it's
weird.
great. Yeah,
Yeah. You used to be the weird guy at the party and or it's at least very unrelatable because that's what you liked. And then now it's very common. But then everybody gets it wrong.
yeah. Well, fun fact, I actually learned astrology to in the late thousands. There was something called pickup artists and peacocking and demonstrating value. One way to demonstrate value and um, prove that you were like essentially the magic trick of astrology to get the psychology of getting into people's heads to pick up them at bars.
Yeah.
And so I was always very popular at parties. I don't know about you.
Oh well. I mean, I think we were going to different parties.
Definitely. But yes, that's essentially that's where my practice started, and it's changed so much into this new landscape, and it's just been crazy to see.
So what do you love and hate about it?
Well, I love the literacy and the amount of conversations I can have with people about it, and just how much the landscape has changed has been crazy to see. Like I've said twice already, but it's just wild going from no one knowing anything about it to all of a sudden I can actually have conversations with other people I don't know about deep, intricate conversations about in-depth astrology that would not have been possible even 10 years ago before like TikTok.
Well, yeah.
Eh,
I mean, people understand. I think what really shows is people understand their big six, right? A lot
yes.
better. But
Hmm.
I think what could still use some improvement is people's understanding of placements and aspects for sure, because
Absolutely.
people will die on the cusp hill because they're so married to being two things at once.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
listen, I am a cusper, okay?
Okay, so break this down for people who get confused.
Okay. First off, you cannot be two signs at once. It's impossible. You are either
Okay.
one or the other. I am so
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Don't you're not the special snowflake who is two signs. I am so
Mm.
sorry.
Oh,
Um,
yes, please crush them.
I will. Oh God. I am one. I am a Gemini Taurus cusp. I am a Gemini. You will drag me in a Taurus with my cold dead hands. I am not doing it.
Oh,
So that your sun is once your sun moves into 0 degrees 00 of the next sign of Gemini, you are no longer a Taurus. You are now a Gemini. The
yes.
seasons change, seasons move. You are not. It cannot be both fall and winter at the same time. It can snow during the fall. It can be warm during winter. But
Yes.
these things have specific dates. I am so sorry.
Yes. It's like the way I describe a cusp is
Hmm.
it is you see the whole pie. You see the whole pie
Hmm.
when you're looking at the natal chart. Pretend it's a pizza. It's a whole pie. The divisions of the slices are the cusp. You can't
Absolutely.
you can't have a slice in between where there's a separation. There's
Exactly.
nothing. It's just a mathematical point. So
That's the thing.
you can't you cannot be two things at once in that respect. It's you either are or not in 0 or 1 or 29 degree plus.
Hmm.
Like so people just generally like do not quite grasp that one, and it just makes me so insane.
Yeah, they're bringing vibes-based astrology when it's math-based.
Yes. Math is just like people don't really quite understand how intricate the math really is.
Hmm.
And I'm not the best at describing the math. It's really funny because I had to go to adult math classes, because I was homeschooled primarily. So
Oh.
any of my understanding has been like retrograde learned for when it comes to actual math. And my reading
Mm.
comprehension levels are really high. I am a high school graduate, even though I had to
Nice.
fill out my own attendance and grade myself through high school. I gave
Hey,
myself
no
a
harsher judge,
2.8.
right?
Right, you got to like that was the circumstance I was in, so I had to do something with it. I gave myself a passing grade, even though like I knew I had big learning gaps, but I went back to adult school later, and I really realized how much algebra is in the natal chart, and of course geometry.
Hmm.
But these things are not basic math
No.
at all. And I'm really good at math that's not basic, but you can't ask me to do long division and expect an answer. I promise you. You're not going to get like me sitting here doing numerological reductions whatsoever at all. Like that's not me.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I wish I could explain to people is that they people I wanted originally to go to adult school to be able to do the mathematical equations without a computer to
Hmm.
draw up charts. I didn't quite get that far, but
Hey,
that's
you
okay.
got where you got, and that's all you need to do. I hope
Yeah.
I get my ancestors proud because peek behind the curtain as an ohm, I'm the science and math royalty. I'm from the guy who created Ohm's law of electricity, who
Oh,
uh,
that please tell me more. Yes. I want to
So
know.
it's the law of electrical resistance, how much electricity is lost when passing through a material.
Okay.
So it is a specific equation. I over V equals R, which R would be resistance, voltage would be the power, and I would be the material.
That's
So
fascinating.
it is a specific equation that he came up with, and he proved electrical resistance. And I have a unit of measurement named after me, and a couple asteroids named after me too.
That is so cool. See, now I love
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, we have. We also are from the same family as the guy who created the golden ratio. That was his brother.
Wow. That's fascinating. So I'm taking back to some of the things that Troy has been saying in chat, where he was saying that the golden ratio is
Hmm.
a inversion of something, some other mathematical equation. So I don't know. I
I
really don't
haven't
know how to
seen him
feel
say
about that.
that, so I
He,
will have to talk to him about that.
yeah, no, he's got this whole thing. But anyway, we talk about this group a lot. I'll do this in Me versus We too, where I'll go back into talking about ASO a little bit because it's astrology
Hmm.
shit posting only, and that's where I do a lot of my other work and like talk to people and do a lot of networking. So Chris
Hmm.
is a part of that group as well. So anybody listening that could be
Absolutely,
from ASO, shout out. Um,
absolutely.
Troy's like, oh, my Leo moon, people are talking about me. So
I can
when it
sense
comes
it.
to you, Chris, you are a Gemini Taurus. We
Yes,
talked about that you being a cusp, but I didn't go through your big three. So Gemini,
by all
Taurus,
means.
Sag.
That's right.
So that's to me, I mean, that says a lot of volumes about the the way you communicate in a way because you have that flair in your with the Sagittarian. There's something about the Sagittarian rising that's so glitzy without even trying. It's very Elvis, very
Oh,
flashy and
oh,
like understated a little bit at the same time, which I love.
thank you very
Um,
much.
your sense of humor is on point always. So that's, I mean, you're funny as fuck. Your memes are always on point too.
Hmm.
So I
I
would
love my Sag rising. It's probably my favorite placement.
I would be so proud of that. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a double Gemini, and it's
Hmm.
just not the fun part of the clown axis.
Oh, I get both of it, so I get coming and going.
It's just, I mean, at least your philosophy is a lot more expansive in just your point of view and how you view yourself. I feel like
Yeah,
the Gemini rising is so neurotic. It's
I,
hopelessly neurotic, especially with, the outer planets being where they're at and
oh
the way my
god,
chart
yeah.
plays out. I only just recently realized that I have Neptune in the seventh. I thought it was in the eighth this
Mm.
whole time, and that just explains so much. And I hate it so
Well, trade
bad.
you got in the first.
That's not easy either.
Hard time viewing yourself versus hard time viewing other people and their motives.
It's just either way, it's you're in a blind spot. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got a huge 12th house too, so
See, there you go.
there's
Mine's
just
empty.
I don't know anybody, much less myself. I'm just kind of winging it as I go and then trying to, make sure that I have at least some ethos about it.
See, that's all you can do. You just have to just take the leap at the end of the day. And that's the Sag energy, is just taking the leap.
Yeah. I mean, my Uranus, I have Uranus on descendant in
Hmm.
Sagittarius. So at least, I do have some of that energy that is in a trine to my Mercury and Venus. So it does give me this really big out of the box um love for the unique and doing things backwards, which
Absolutely.
has its own value, even if I'm basically learning rules just to break them. That's fine.
Hey, some things need to be broken.
They do. I mean, that's one of the things, like circling back to the way astrology kind of is right now.
Hmm.
um People are just so loud and wrong. They're really loud and really wrong, and they're starting to use chat gpt
Yeah.
for every fucking thing.
God, don't get me
And
started on that.
well, I mean, we should, because I feel a very strong feeling about authenticity and how how we don't even understand how rare it is now, but we're just at the beginning of 2 years in with AI. We don't
Mhm.
really understand what we're trading yet.
No. And I would say that's probably going to be the big test of Uranus and Gemini is going to be the AI. Because Uranus usually introduces a new technology. In
Yeah,
Taurus, it was like gene editing, and so I feel like we never really saw the real truth of what Uranus and Taurus was. I feel like that might have been the whole, because there was a whole underground movement of like QAnon and adrenochrome and the elites and what they're
the
doing.
Wayfair
They're,
scandal.
oh god, yeah, that. So it was always something that was hidden, and then that goes in the opposition of Scorpio, of course. But whatever the true gene editing and going into the substance
Mm.
and this new show about this beauty thing on FX that just came out with exploding supermodels.
Is that the Demi Moore thing?
The substance was the Demi Moore thing. The new
Okay.
show is essentially a copy of that. Um, so it's yeah, I feel like that was the what Uranus and Taurus really was, and we never really saw the whole thing for the masses. But Uranus and Gemini will be ChatGPT for sure.
I've said this for a few months. I was on Astro Bros before it
Mhm.
exploded, and I was saying that with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, that I think this is the beginning of the transhumanism conversation.
Yes,
I,
I was I was big into transhumanism and talking about it back in like 2012, back when I was still posting and that. You can go back and find my old articles talking about this time.
I will.
Like
I'll
it
get
was
bored. I'll start doing some research. I probably would. I love
there.
me some Gemini hyperfocus. So keep
I was
talking.
focusing on this time like big back during what I called the back when it was the cardinal crisis and the mutable meltdown and the fixed fracas. Everyone
And
was
those,
talking about that back then, and it was because it was like there was like 17 major astrologers, and they were all saying the same thing together. So they would all say the same six catchphrases together.
they were. And I'm trying to remember. I mean, my exposure to astrologers at that early stage was Eliza. Eliza was probably one of the first ones that I came across.
Shout out to
I,
Lisa Einhorn.
Eliza, my girl.
I love
I hope
her.
she better
Moon Pluto
listen to this.
astrology.
I know she doesn't listen to all my content like she used to. She was used to be a really big follower, but if anything, I hope she listens to this one because
Oh
like
yeah,
we both adore this woman. But
she's amazing. Buy her
Aliza,
books.
yeah, her books are literally the best. Like Little Book of Saturn. She has one
Hmm.
that's unpublished that was about magic and tarot. Now she
Hmm.
has one about tarot and psychology that I need to get because
Yes.
she told me I predicted that one during a reading, and way back when she first started going to psychotherapy school. And I just adore that so much. I do remember saying something about that, but she writes notes every time we do readings. So I
Hmm.
believe her accounting way more than me being in the middle of channeling in the moment and then remembering what I'm doing because that's really not how it works for me. But
Yeah.
shoot, I feel like we were okay. So 2012 astrologers. I think Leo
Yes.
King was one of the most
Leo
major,
King.
easy to
Hmm.
find, and Peace Dealer.
Peace Healer.
Michael,
Yeah.
he was him, the Leo King, and then April Shaley were
Hmm.
all ones that I found back then.
Were you part of the Mystic Medusa crew too?
I remember seeing her posts, but I don't think I was really too deep into her messages because they felt too impersonal.
Yeah, she definitely went for mass appeal. Um, but she was she was pretty good. There was a few others, but yeah, there
I
was
liked her
Astrolosophy for
graphics,
JD.
you
What's that?
know. Her graphics were cool,
Oh yeah, she did have a good eye.
you know. That I mean that was what stood out really back then was art. I was in
Yes.
a really big art phase. just rediscovering certain things about myself back then. So yeah, the blogs were big, and I was reading a lot of Elisa's stuff way back.
Hmm.
So I do remember spirit science being on my feed. And
Yes.
so tell me more about your experience with that whole thing, because you did say it turned into a cult, and I'm fascinated by that because I didn't know about any of that.
So yes, it was a 2012 cult. Um, oh God. How much time do we have? Spirit Science was originally a nice little forum for people who um, could look into things of a spiritual, mystical, metaphysical, whatever you want to call it, nature, um, and connect. And I found a great community there with some people. However, it became a 2012 cult, and I got caught up in that because they need an astrologer. So I was
Mm,
running the astrology section. I had my own little kingdom within there, and as Jordan, the creator of Spirit Science, went crazier and crazier and committed tax fraud and did a couple sex crimes, um, he, I was kind of on my own, and Teal Swan, that's where she cut her teeth. She originally came up in Spirit Science.
it's like sounds like a Gemini trap zone. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Jordan was a Taurus, and he was, yeah, he ran the cult like a Taurus would.
mm,
Um, it was all. If you never seen it, watch the Spirit Science movie on YouTube. Just Google that, and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
no, that
Don't
sounds
look
very
deeper.
interesting. I mean, I got into it was a little bit later. It was, I think, around 2015. There was some
Mhm.
really weird things going on Facebook,
Yes.
and I fell in with some Thelemites that I can't expand on
Ooh.
because there was some deaths involved,
Hmm.
and I just don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Correct.
But it got really interesting. I got asked to join them in the Midwest state that shall not be named because that's too much
Hmm.
details. But yeah, no, it was a very strange time on the internet, those early 2010s.
Yeah. Think about how long ago that was now.
I can't. I mean, I think about how old I am every single day when it comes to like how clearly I remember the early 2000s
Hmm.
and how long ago that is now. Like everything, all these folks are looking so old that I'm like, bro, how did
Yeah.
this happen? Like, why do I feel like I'm just now in my 40s starting to really see and understand life, and like everything's ancient?
Hmm. I keep
How?
seeing all my teenage favorite songs like this song's turning 20 years old now, and I'm like, no, 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 thank you, we're good.
Like the oldies station has shit that was playing in 2003 on it.
Hmm.
Why?
Sum 41 is now oldies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. Like honestly, I don't know. I saw a very hard thing. It didn't hit me until I turned literally 40 in March, and it's just been a complete meltdown. And it's almost March again, and I'm just like, oh crap! I'm not even used to 40, and I'm supposed to be 41.
Hmm.
It happened
Yeah,
so
it
fucking
is.
quick, but I don't know. There's things that I would never change because that's where I was at in my head at the time.
Hmm.
So you learn things when you're supposed to learn them.
Absolutely.
My Saturn return kicked in when it did. You know, so
Yeah,
you can't change and some people are supposed to be late bloomers anyways. So I
it's
have
true.
to talk to myself like this, and so it's just very frustrating. What do I wish? I mean, one of the things I wrote down was, but what do you wish you could scream in everybody's faces? And I meant like in the astrological community.
Hmm.
Um,
But we can
one
expand it to more of it because this track is like, yes, you learn things when you're supposed to. Old is not old. You're as old as you are on the calendar, yeah, but you're not fit mentally and spiritually
oh,
older than you really are. Because I mean, I still feel like I'm 17. I still feel like I'm still that teenage stripper dancing on the pole in the underground sex club that I wasn't supposed to be
You
doing.
were having so much more fun at 17 than I was. By
Oh,
far. I got married when I was 18.
yeah, no, I didn't do that.
So I was like, I was a housewife immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes down to the gender difference too.
Yeah.
Males have a lot of more of options still to this day, which is annoying and crazy,
Meh,
but it is
it's
what
the
it
truth.
is.
Yeah, women know what the playing field is. We know
Yeah,
what it is. Like we still feel those parameters every single day.
more
So
and more.
I mean, it's just, and some of us are choosing it, and it's I don't know. I'm in one of those spaces where I've never considered myself a feminist.
Hmm.
I'm I just don't really know what to call it. I feel like women should have rights to be whatever they want to be, but are men and women equal? I truly don't believe we are. We're not biologically the same. We're not little versions of men, and we run on cycle differences. So it's just like the expectation level that we've come down with because of the feminist movement is very harmful to our nervous systems, and we're having to do a lot of care for that all of a sudden retrograde style. And like I know what the overall solution is for everybody on this planet? Absolutely not.
No.
Everybody's, cases and bodies and desires and missions are different on the planet, and I feel like that should be able to have a wide berth as well. But at the end of the day, I feel like men and women both, or any genders, the one of the worst thing is nobody feels understood, or everybody feels, what's the word, taken for granted.
Yeah. And you know
Period.
what? I support women's rights, but I even more support women's wrongs at the end of the day.
Yeah, for the most part. Um, I mean, I say that because I had a very rough relationship with my mother, and there's some
Mm,
wrongs that happened because I was a child under her care that are unsupportable.
yes,
So there are things women can do that are just, past the line. But
they are.
for the most part, when it comes to, women getting some sort of equanimity with men as a patriarchy, I support that
Absolutely.
big time. Equanimity. I think equality is
Equanimity of,
tired.
yeah, equanimity of opportunity, not
Mm,
necessarily equanimity of outcome.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
We
I think,
can't force the outcomes. We have to, but we can
no,
do more
exactly.
to make sure that the opportunities are available.
Nothing is ideal. Nobody's going to have the same experience
No.
for one person to the next. It's biology and people are so different. So is the
Hmm.
expression. So I wish, if I could scream anything in anybody's faces, uh, beyond just, I mean, I would say equanimity over equality. That's something that's a big deal for me. Uh,
I would
it
agree.
just People need to know the difference between those words and what they really are asking for when they want equality. That's the equivalent of, to me, that sounds like communism. Like, and how often
Hmm.
does communism actually work in full application? It has not yet worked because humans are too varied, and it just it winds up, you know, just plain out not working.
Yeah.
We've tried.
Not to mention
So,
the U.S. with an intervention, and
oh
every
God,
time.
every time, it just doesn't work. Equanimity is something I would scream down people's throats. But when it comes to astrology, I would say your your moon your moon bullshit doesn't
Hmm.
matter as much as you think it does.
I can get behind that.
I I, I
When
get I get real tired of people's basing heavy duty. Every fucking moon transit is heavily transformational. It's
I
the pivotal of blah blah blah. Like it's just I get so tired of the rhetoric every 2 weeks.
I have two things about that I would say then. I would say one. There's no portals. 8-8, not a portal.
You.
It is just a date. It is not a portal. There is no Lions fucking Gate.
Thank
There's the
you.
Lions Gate Media Company, but it is not a. It's just Leos being Leos.
Yes. It's
And
not
number
a
two,
dog star thing. It's not a serious lineup. It's not those things mathematically don't match.
yeah, there. I mean, if you want to bring the fixed stars into it, we can talk. But it is not a portal.
Portals don't exist. I
Yeah.
agree.
And number two, Vedic is not more accurate because it's older.
Ah, I have had so many conversations with people who get openly hostile that are Vedic astrologers.
Yeah, me too.
They get so angry because you're into Western, and
Hmm.
I don't understand why they get so mad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Eileen, with your first tarot deck and a floppy hat, being on TikTok, being like, "Hi, I am now a master of astrology, and I'm superior because I know Vedic."
Like the
Yeah,
next
it is.
mantras, okay? Like that's I mean I love that you can divide the chart up into such deep lore.
Hmm.
I love that. But I will never ever ever probably ever subscribe to Vedic simply because I am not resonant with a Pisces sun.
Yeah, and more than that, you can only use the seven lights.
Seven lights? See, I don't even know about that. What?
So the seven lights is the planets that are visible from Earth:
Okay.
Moon, Sun, um, Mercury,
Okay.
Mars, Venus,
That
Jupiter,
makes
Saturn, Mars. Yeah, plus the nodes.
which in Vedic are Rahu and Ketu.
Correct.
Eh, the
You
the
can't. You don't use Uranus. You don't use Neptune, Pluto. None of the minor planets. Nothing else.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
That seems naked. Like
Plus,
there's a bunch of stuff in the dark you can't use.
exactly. Not to mention, square charts are stupid. I hate
They
square charts.
are.
They're stupid.
I've never looked at one and been like, oh, that makes sense. That make
Exactly.
it doesn't sing the same way as the spheres and the wheels within wheels that a circle chart is by any means.
Yeah, you can call me Western pilled if you want, but I'm never going to get on board with it.
I agree. It's okay. I have a prejudice in this direction. Again, it circles mainly around the fact that I just cannot subscribe to having a Pisces sun. It
Yeah.
does not make sense. And I don't care if you say, oh, 6 degrees is actually a Aries degree in Pisces sun. Like, don't give me that shit. Like, I'm not a Pisces.
Hmm. The degree is not going to override the sun.
I just can't. I can't jive with that. In no
No.
way have I tried to sit there and unpack my chart in Vedic. Has it resonated? It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And so,
Sorry to all the Vedics out there.
I mean, you guys know. You guys know. They know what's going on with that. They just like it because it makes them either a Leo rising or something, and they're much happier with their placements in that, and that's fine.
Well,
Do
yeah,
your
if I was a
thing.
Virgo rising, I would want to change that too.
You know, Virgo risings transits always fucking suck every single time.
Life sucks when you're a Virgo rising. I'm so sorry.
It's bad. Like I will say like they have an extraordinarily shitty transit map. I can't imagine another rising sign that has transits that just brutal,
Right.
especially living in this day and age. But like that doesn't really give them an excuse to be that way.
No. And as a minor planet astrologer myself, I can't get into it.
I want to know more about the the minor planets. I want to
Hmm.
know more about the history of asteroid use
Of course.
and what kind of how you fell into it and what lit your brain up about asteroids.
So, absolutely. Let's start with how I got into it, because that leads into everything else. I originally, at my very earliest, was going to be a medical astrologer.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I did
And
medical astrology so bad.
it is such a unique, interesting, intricate system. And I have great respect for medical astrology. I really love it. Um, but at the pivotal moment, I was a student of Karen Petrelli from Ravenesque Astrology, Ravenesque Tarot. Um, early on, I got into it with her, and she took me under her wing, and I ended up um, inheriting her body of work because she retired,
Oh,
and she retired to raise her kids, and it was the best for her. Um, Beautiful Cancer woman, incredible that she was doing a lot with the minor planets and asteroids, main belt asteroids.
okay.
Um, what really got me, however, as I looked into it further and deeper, I love the main belt asteroids. They're great. They're so intricate. They add so much depth. And if if you take the chart as a rough gemstone, each facet of it that you add with asteroids and trans-Neptunians, centaurs, no matter what, adds depth, fire, and sparkle to the chart as a whole. The more
I
you cut
love that
away,
description. It just the way they light carries. I love that.
exactly, and the more intricate you can make it, those fancy cut gemstones on Instagram. I don't know if you get those on your feed, but I see
Yeah,
these crazy ones that have all these fantasy cut gemstones, and they're insane. But that's essentially what asteroids do: is they add that intricate, tiny depth. Because what asteroids are in the chart with the classical
interesting.
with the classical planets, you get a whole host of things that they rule. Like think of Neptune. Neptune rules so much. He rules drugs. He rules hospitals. He rules oil, and he rules like
Like spirituality, like the whole
yeah,
high highs, the low lows.
exactly.
He's
He
so
rules.
ineffable. Yeah, I could talk about
Ineffable
Neptune and
is an
12 all day.
amazing word for Neptune,
See,
but
I always get stuck on asteroids too because,
mhm,
and I've told you this a couple times, every time I look them up,
mhm.
every time, the most of them are in Aries for me. So
Yeah.
how does this make the light shine better when it's all in one dumped in one area of your chart?
Well, because the asteroids, what they do is they focus on one or two specific things. You can't use, you can't shove an asteroid into a use case for everything. But when you need an asteroid, it is the perfect thing for it. You
Hmm,
can't use Juno for everything, say, but when you're looking at marriage, she's the one you reach for. You can't use Phaeton for everything, but when you get in a car crash, he's the one you want to look at.
they're not multi-use tools.
But they're highly specialized tools.
Hmm.
Each one has their own individual use case. And it's a hard thing to know all of the individual use cases, but when you do, it really adds a lot of depth to the chart.
I can see that
And
working.
yeah, because I mean, we come into this existence, some believe, to learn different lessons. And if all of your asteroids are in a certain sign, well, guess what? You need to learn some lessons.
They're all in the community house. They're all in
I mean,
11th house, all Aries, and all nestled in between. I have 6 degrees Sun, 18
mhm,
degrees Venus Mercury, both
mhm,
retrograde, and then everything, all of the asteroids are all sandwiched in between all of that. And my Black Moon Lilith is 22 degrees
mhm.
Aries as well, and then it's just all of them, like Eros, Dick, Psyche. Like all of the big ones are, I remember I've always looked up any asteroid that you said to look up, and it's just literally, oh, let me guess, Aries. The only
I
one
mean,
that you mentioned today that I have that's not in Aries is Juno, and that's in Libra. And
oh, so she's the one who's corralling all of them.
it's just like for real though, like in the fifth.
Well, then you might want to look at trans-Neptunians, the ones
Okay,
past Neptune, the ones like Pluto, because Pluto is now
I'll
technically
write
he's an
that down.
asteroid. Yeah,
I don't want to
but
forget.
yes, trans-Neptunian objects. That's my real specialty. The icy mini bodies out past Neptune.
Hmm.
Things like Quasar, Albion, Teharan Hiawako, Typhon, Rhadamanthus, Pranzius, all the fun stuff.
So what are the I don't know. I maybe it's there's no way to ask this. Is there a general umbrella of function that the trans-Neptunians have?
Actually, yes.
Okay, cool.
So the trans-Neptunians tend to be in a couple different families. Um, the main crux of them is either chaos deities,
Hmm,
creators, or destroyers.
that's fascinating.
And working with a lot of them are even like less represented things like First Nation, indigenous creator gods or destroyer gods. Some are Chinese, some are Hindu, some are like they really try and democratize from away from Greco-Roman.
Well, I
Although
like that. I mean,
there are still some Greco-Romans.
there's so much value in other cultures. I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, the first one to be discovered was, of course, Greco-Roman. Well, the first one to be named, I should say. The first one was discovered. There was one discovered um, back in 1998. We've known that there's been more
Oh,
stuff past Pluto.
in our own lifetime, that's crazy.
Hmm. But it didn't get its own name until 2017. Or actually, no, it was 2021 it got its name. That's right. It was, yeah.
So what was it named?
I'm going to tell you what the number is because that's what I know it as. It is known as 1998 QB1
QB1.
because it inspired its own family. Because a lot of asteroids and trans-Neptunians fall into families,
Okay.
and the family that it named that it was called the Cubewanos, QB1,
Okay.
Cubewanos. However, since it was renamed, it is now Albion.
Okay.
I
I
think that's
see.
stupid.
Isn't that the first name for England?
It is
I mean, that seems kind of
like
silly.
the mythical name for England. Like it means white. Do we really need
Okay.
more white stuff going
Really?
on here?
That is so boring.
That's why I say QB1 instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see why you chose to name it that or continue with that.
But the one to be named first was, of course, the 2007 decision to strip Pluto of its um,
Mm,
planethood with Eris when Eris was discovered, the goddess of chaos and strife.
there we go. Now, I hear a lot about Eris, and I believe
Hmm.
she's also in Aries on my chart too.
She is. She's in the Aries for pretty much everyone who's alive right now.
Okay, well that makes sense.
The
Thank God I'm not
Trans-Neptunians are
special
very
there.
slow.
That's true. Okay, I do remember hearing that. I think I get asteroids confused with fixed stars
Yeah,
sometimes.
no, that it does happen. I can totally understand getting confused. The fixed stars do move too, but they're a lot slower even than the Trans-Neptunians.
Yeah.
Um, the you do hear a lot about Eris. She is probably the most popular of the Trans-Neptunians aside from Pluto. Uh, Chaos and strife happening in the sign of war and aggression. that happens. And, Chiron is there right now with her,
For real.
and with everything that's going on in Minneapolis right now today, this episode. Chaos, strife, war, violence, getting shot in the face by the state.
Yeah, that's definitely par for par, especially I think due in part to the retrogrades that we were having. I don't remember if Uranus is still retrograde or if it's coming out of shadow,
I think
but I
it's
do
out of
remember
shadow.
it was in this Taurus, during this latter part of 2025,
Yes,
and
and
we
it will
were.
be. Oh god.
No, I was just saying we were backtracking through some of the shit that we thought we were done with.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to be linking up with Sedna, another big
Okay,
trans-Neptunian. Sedna is
right.
the other real big one that gets mentioned a lot.
And Sedna, I believe, if I remember correctly, she's a Alaskan goddess. Yes,
Inuit,
with
yeah,
Inuit. Okay.
yes, she is the Inuit goddess of the hunt, of fertility. She is a seal goddess who lives under the ice, and when she's displeased, she causes famines and big
Mm,
ice storms, like is happening right now.
with exploding trees.
Yes, and Sedna is currently at 0 Gemini.
Oh God. Oh,
She
that's
is
very interesting.
she is right on my sun. It's great times, let me tell you.
That's my moon is, I believe, 2 degrees
Hmm.
Gemini, and my Chiron's 4 degrees Gemini. So
Yeah,
these are personal transits. Right
yeah.
now, Chiron Aries is on my Black Moon Lilith.
Hmm.
So I have felt these transits, especially with Chiron the last few years, with how it stationed on my Venus and Mercury for like 2 years.
Hmm.
I felt it. I had feelings for a Gemini and just got completely
Oh
crushed.
no, don't ever do that.
I know. And then still in my 12th house, like I met a Taurus that I thought was the one, and then it wasn't the
They
one,
never
and then
are.
I was again crushed. So, I mean, it was just one of those transits that was ultimately I learned so many things about myself and changed so much for the positive
Hmm.
during those transits because, Chiron isn't going to give you rapid healing in Aries. It's
Yeah,
just I am not the same person I was before this transit. So I do know how powerful these asteroids and outer planets and trans Neptunians can be, especially when you go in hindsight and look at your patterns and see
absolutely.
what happened. I'm not really a big fan of transit astrology to look ahead because I don't like to have my movie spoiled. I
I
don't.
love
I
that.
I just I don't want I want to live it. I want to just experience it firsthand and then maybe look it up. So that's why in my astrology, I'll in my work, I don't sit there and I don't offer, I never have, never will offer transits. But I will help you look at your personality. I will help you understand and facilitate, greater learning and becoming the highest version of yourself and fix your mindset. But
Hmm.
I'm not trying to help you look ahead and cheat yourself of lessons.
Absolutely.
Not that I'm doing that.
Astrology to empower, not to
Yes.
spoil
And Elisa would always say, I'm not your love and light astrologer, but I'll take a,
it.
and uh, I'm not your skip a lesson and cut some corners astrologer. I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna let you fucking cheat.
The way
So
I always went, the way I always marketed it, or found myself anyway, was I'm the one, I'm the astrologer you call when everything has already gone to hell
I'm
and
so
everything is
glad.
burning around you.
Yes, I'll do damage control
Yeah,
astrology. That's great. I love that. Let's find out what the lesson is in this.
exactly.
Let's get through that. But I don't want to give somebody a softer landing. I want their knees to be bruised. I want their feelings
Hmm.
to get hurt. And I'm starting to gear. I'm just getting into the weeds now. I'm
Hmm.
I'm getting into rage bait marketing because it's just more honest. It's just I'm tired of this regular copywriting that everybody's ignoring. You
Yeah,
can be saying the most valuable shit and nobody's going to listen to you without getting enraged. So now one of the things I learned through this Chiron Aries thing is you have to get your feelings hurt and ruffled in order to get the healing done. So now
absolutely.
we're in a new phase.
The cracks are how the light comes in.
Yeah, fuck it. Like I'm tired of um like the dark workers. I'm assuming
Mhm.
when I read that this is about shadow work and making it embodying the darkness so that the light can get in. Yes.
Yes, it was a left-hand path
Yeah,
community that was very shadow work oriented, and at the time, it was the landscape was incredibly light work, and we were the counterculture to that.
I love that because
Mhm.
the I think that was during the time Doreen Virtue was really big,
Yes, yes, it
and we were
was.
all sick of the saccharine shit.
Hmm.
And sometimes it still resurfaces, and it feels so hostile underneath these sweet exterior. I could get in get deep into that into the weeds of I don't know. At least that's how I read it. It's like
Oh yeah, no, the
sickly
toxic
sweet.
positivity culture, I
I,
hated that.
I'm very over it, and it's every now and then it rears its head, and I catch it full in the face. And I've had a few run-ins with people through ASO that run that way, and they'll openly make fun of me, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's not ever been my way.
I don't mind. If I'm gonna die on a hill, let it be that one. I'm not gonna be put
Right?
in the face.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's the great thing about asteroids. They're the harsh, cold reality.
Good. I'm gonna enjoy getting into this with you because
Mhm.
I believe we have more episodes planned, and we were wanting to talk about romance because Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes, we full spoiler for that. We've got a whole host of fun romance asteroids to talk about and really getting into the weeds on.
Yeah, so at least we have a interesting start on understanding, how they're relevant.
Hmm.
Um, is there, let's see, there's one thing we didn't really cover, I think, anything misunderstood or underrated things that the astrology community misses right now. Like, but maybe that's the asteroids and the trans-Neptunian planets, though. Maybe we did cover that.
Yes, I would say that that's probably the most um, underrated thing about my work right now is the misunderstanding of asteroids. Because a lot of the time, you get whenever you start talking about asteroids, the more traditional, especially Hellenic astrologers right now will roll their eyes at it and be like, "Oh,
Mm.
it makes the chart looks busy. It just makes everything too crowded." Well, I'm sorry that you can't see past your own face on that.
I mean, when it comes to noobs, like
Hmm.
brand new people, and well, I'll say it like this, that's the only time when I'm like, what is you doing with all these planets on your fucking chart? It's those people that are like, give me a free reading, like
Yes.
like that's when I'm like, whoa, there's too many aspects here. Like we need to, if you're gonna want something for free, at least bring it down to one or two aspects that we can help you understand, not the whole like enchilada.
Yeah. And when I can typically tell what someone is really looking for by the asteroids they use when they do,
Mm.
if they start throwing in things like Dianiera and Nessus, and because they only ever use those two, they're coming from Linda Land, and they've found my nemesis, Amy Manning. Um,
I looked up
yeah,
Nessus once and I do not remember what it was about at this point.
Nessus is toxicity, toxic people.
Oh,
He's one of the centaurs because there's a whole family of centaurs. It's not just Chiron.
I believe that. I believe I've heard more about more centaurs, and
Mhm.
like I'm pretty sure it's from you, honestly.
Probably. I talk about Crantor, Pelion, Damocles, all of them.
That's fascinating shit. Like you just there's a lot more questions, but we're headed towards the an hour long mark. So
Mhm.
Are you comfortable to keep going, or do you want to quit for
We can
now?
go a little bit further. Yeah, well,
Okay.
let's
So
go.
when it comes to centaurs,
Hmm.
are they all as quick acting as that implies?
What
Like,
the centaurs, what I've found the centaurs to do, and this is a very controversial opinion, I have found that the centaurs all tend to relate to one type of mental illness or neurodivergence.
oh, that's fascinating. I've been wanting
Chiron,
to
of
get
course, be
deeper into the
autism.
neurodivergence astrology for a long time because
Mhm.
I I find it that the people who come to me for teaching or to learn from me are neurodivergent, and I would not necessarily think that that shows up in their Mercury. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
it's Chiron
Oh,
and the other centaurs,
I'm writing this down.
for sure.
Okay, so psychology, neurodivergence. That's fascinating. Okay, so neurodivergence, would that does it show autism versus like ADHD? Does it get that nitty gritty?
So each of them are a specific one. Chiron would be autism.
Wow. Oh no. My
And
moon is so autistic.
well, you know,
Yeah, it is what it is.
yeah,
But
it's and then there's ones like dissociative personality disorder. There's for Ashcliss. There's one for victim identity. There's toxic personalities and narcissism and abuse. They all have a function.
so
There's extreme hermitude of like agoraphobia.
yeah. So when you're, let's say, online dating, all right,
Uh-huh.
because that's pretty, and you're like opening up somebody's chart for the first time. You got their birth details, and you made them talk to their mother.
Ah,
Like we're right there. So what asteroids are we having to pull up to kind of understand at a quick glance what kind of darkness we're dealing with? Because everybody's got it.
well, for that, you're gonna have to listen to the next episode.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely. We'll talk about all the fun ones to do that. We'll talk about the red
Okay,
flags in addition to the fun ones.
I love that. I cannot wait to get into that because, well, shit. I mean, it's going to be, there better be a lot of listeners for that one because there's going to be a lot of people that need to know this, period.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I assume because people's mouths are moving, they're lying. So
Ha!
it would be a lot
Says the
better
double
to
Gemini.
nail it down better. I mean, we Gemini risings have the issue with Scorpio being in the sixth.
Yeah.
So we are just automatically assuming that everybody else is probably working in the shadows on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah, that does happen.
I
Well,
mean,
that would be Nessus coming out.
yeah, which I cannot remember where that is in my chart. I'll have to look it up again. But anyways,
Hmm.
so I really enjoyed this episode, but we'll leave everybody on a cliffhanger.
Absolutely. It
And
was great talking to you on
it's
this.
I guess it's marvelous talking to you, and I'm really looking forward to what are you doing? What did I say? Monday the 13th, perhaps. I think
Yes.
if I
Or
remember correctly,
maybe Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday or Monday. But
Yeah, one of the
Sunday,
two.
I have to double check. But
For sure.
either way, I'm looking forward to it, and we're gonna get this out as soon as possible. And thank you for coming, and I'm
Thank
looking
you
forward
for
to doing
having
this
me.
again. Is there anything you want to say before I close out?
Follow me on Heretical Oracles on
Do it.
Facebook and AstroGeek894 on Instagram.
Aster Geek 894.
No,
Okay.
no, 944.
944.
Yeah,
Aster Geek 944 on Instagram. Okay.
yes,
Done and done. Sounds good. All right. Until next time, guys. Have a good one.
absolutely.
Okay.